You promised to take me, and we're late.
Oh, honey, I'm sorry. Mommy worked really late last night.
What's up, YouTube? It's your boy P Stacking Jr. back again with another video. This is my reaction to the Amazing World of Gumball being back. And this is what I gotta say about it. So this what we're already doing. Let me stop holding you up. Hope you enjoyed the video. And let's get into this and see what they talk about. Is the Amazing World Gumball finally coming back in 2025? And yes, this video was uploaded 11 hours ago. This is my first reaction to it.
Did you guys hear that the Amazing World of Gumball is coming back? Did you even know it ended? Because I didn't. Yes, this long-running Cartoon Network classic is coming back for its 7th.
First off, I didn't know that the Amazing World of Gumball ended, per se. And this is my into. And don't get me wrong, the Amazing World of Gumball, and I know that y'all can agree with me down in the comments. The Amazing World of Gumball was it got to be like one of the top two, not anime. Forget about anime, school anime. I'm talking about cartoons alone, because there's a difference between anime and cartoon. But most people will put cartoon and anime together. No, they're two different things. And this is probably one of the episodes where y'all kind of gets it wrong. It's not your typical anime, but the Amazing World of Gumball can technically be considered an anime. And the reason why, if you look at some of Gumball's key points and compare them to typical anime things, you can tell that the Amazing World Gumball was Cartoon Network version of anime. And if you ask me, they recreate anime and made it into a cartoon. I don't know. It's like a cartoon anime, but it's not a cartoon anime because anime will be considered a cartoon anime. It's like cartoon. If you put if cartoon and anime had a baby, the Amazing World Gumball will be the baby that they give birth to. That is really what the Amazing World Gumball is, and even like on the video, if y'all agree with me, or comment down below and tell me why you don't agree with me. And there may be a couple of controversial things throughout the video, but let's get back into it. But that's, if you ask me, the Amazing World Gumball was one of my favorite anime / cartoons. And and that's probably like top 10. I know that all y'all can agree with me with this statement. Top 10 for sure when it comes down to cartoons.
Season sometime like this year or next year, I believe. And long running is kind of an understatement. The Amazing World of Gumball premiered all the way back in 2011. That is
2011? I know y'all in the comments gonna be mad at me for pausing, but 2011? I was only 6 years old when it first premiered. Y'all I'm about to be 18, gosh dang. 2011. Nah, that's like a whole entire. I was 6 years old. I'm 13 years ago. Gosh damn, time go by fast.
14 years ago. And when I started making this video, I was all set to call this cartoon.
It could be in between 13 and 14. Chill.
Works the longest running show, until I did a little more research and found out that technically it did end in 2019 after 6 seasons. I don't know how I missed that. Why did I think it was still going? For real, I seriously thought this show had just been going and going and going the whole time. Am I alone in that? It can't.
I wouldn't have been surprised if it was still going on. Gumball is probably one of the shows that I really thought would go on forever. Like, kill me out. Hear me out. Just hear me out. Nickelodeon. You know how Nickelodeon got SpongeBob. SpongeBob SquarePants, Cartoon Network had the Amazing World of Gumball. The Amazing World of Gumball was Cartoon Network's SpongeBob SquarePants. And that's what y'all would agree with me right here, right now. And that's the sad part. But let's continue. And I mean, that's the sad part, but that's the good part. Because I know that will agree with me. Are people who say they don't agree with me is probably too young to understand what the Amazing World Gumball, what he had going for him. And probably in Gen Alpha. But we Gen Zers knows what we talking about.
Just be me. Though to be fair, Gumball has kind of been in a weird limbo state for about as long as I've been following it, so what's the deal? First though, what is the Amazing World of Gumball? And honestly, it's a pretty good question because this might be one of the weirder cartoons I've ever seen. Gumball is a Cartoon Network animated series created by one Ben Bouclé. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And it follows the misadventures of the Watterson family, Gumball, Darwin, Anais, Nicole, and Richard, as they go through their everyday life in the town of Elmore. They go to school, work their jobs, and deal with all the kind of interpersonal relationship struggles you'd expect from a family sitcom. But while Gumball might look like your average sitcom on the surface, the show wastes absolutely no time kicking you in the face with just how out there it can be. I'm talking monsters, ghosts.
That's all facts. Yeah, he's speaking facts. I cannot. But just the way he worded it was so funny to me. My bad. I just had to pause it. Which is facts for those who don't watch Cartoon Network no more, and for those who don't know what the Amazing Gumball is, I'm sorry that you haven't experienced this amazing show.
Absolutely no time kicking you in the face with just how out there it can be. I'm talking monsters, ghosts, dinosaurs, music videos, existential nightmare puppet worlds, and fourth wall breaks that go so meta that they literally tear the fabric of reality apart. Seriously, this is the kind of show where literally anything can and will happen.
That's what I've been saying. That's exactly what I say. It's a cartoon anime, and this is what I was saying. It got the. Let me put it to you this way. It got the laws and physics of a cartoon. No, it got the laws. It got the laws and physics of a cartoon. But got the mindset. We got the mindset of an anime. But all the characters in it are anime characters. Like imagine a anime character being able to do everything a cartoon character can do. Split the body parts apart and stuff like that. Just anime people doing it. Imagine everything a cartoon person can do, just as a cartoon version of themselves being using the cartoon laws. That's literally what they did inside the Amazing World of Gumball. I know it's hard to explain, but at the same time, that's literally how the best I can explain. Hope y'all understand what I was saying.
It's completely unhinged. A chaotic energy that is perfectly matched by the show's art style, or I guess lack thereof. The show legit has a little bit of everything when it comes to art and animation. 2D, 3D, puppets, live action, maybe a little stop motion from time to time, and it'll straight up just change its entire aesthetic on a whim for no reason other than to just do it. It rules. And all this artistic experimentation was absolutely foundational to the creation of the show, as the original pilot was literally made up of a big batch of unrelated characters that Ben Bouclé created prior to working at Cartoon Network. After the show premiered on Cartoon Network in 2011, it became a near instant hit, scoring 6 seasons over the course of 8 years. And as the show went on, it just got more and more insane. The show was always an unpredictable nightmare, but like in a good way. But the longer it went on, it became more and more meta and actually pretty progressive. That's you. That's what you sound like. Shut the fuck up! You can go from one episode that is a genuinely really well done allegory for modern day presidential politics, and then right after that, you get an episode where Gumball's dad lives a double life as one of the Golden Girls. Actually, just the Golden Girls from TV. New Betty White just dropped. And the more like meta elements of the show are so famous that I don't even really need to go into them. From finding sneaky in-universe ways to explain swapping voice actors behind the scenes, all the way to entire action sequences where the show's animation is slowly devolving down to storyboards and post-it notes. Gumball doesn't just break the fourth wall so much as it rips it in half, creating a rift in time and space. Again, I'm not kidding. That actually happened. And all of this combined to make Gumball one of Cartoon Network's biggest and most iconic hits in ages. And to be honest, I didn't get it at first. Way back when it was new, I kind of brushed it off. I thought Gumball, the character, was just so unlikable, and that kind of turned me off the show at first. But I also thought Steven Universe was just an Adventure Time ripoff back then, so a teenage Fofi's opinions clearly are not to be taken seriously. Yeah, once I actually sat down and really watched the show, getting a better feel for the tone and the world, it all just clicked. And now, while it might not be my favorite show or anything, I have a huge amount of love and respect for the amazing world of Gumball and its seemingly endless well of hilarious creativity. Which brings us to today. Gumball is a modern Cartoon Network classic that is coming back for its 7th season sometime between 2025 and 2026. But am I really alone in thinking that Gumball hadn't actually ended? It can't just be me. To be fair, since I first binged the show back in 2018, I didn't keep a super close eye on it moving forward. That was back when I made my brief history video on the show. Remember those? But I knew that at that time the show was still going on, though there were rumblings of a cancellation or the show wrapping up soon. And there was also some kind of Gumball movie talk going on, maybe? Anyway, I made that brief history back when season...
If they make a Gumball movie, that would be the most craziest. I kid you not, that would be the most craziest thing they ever put together is the Amazing World of Gumball movie. Take us so far off the shelves. I don't care if you and your 20s going into their 30s, I'm pushing 30 status. Everybody, and I know this for a fact, will go watch the Amazing World of Gumball. I don't give a fudge. If you part of Gen Z and you grew up on Cartoon Network watching the Amazing World of Gumball, and if you kind of get the gist of the show and what it's about, I felt the movie, if they made a movie about it, that would be the most wildest thing to ever come out in the deals. And I'm not just saying that just because the nostalgia talking. I'm saying that because the way, just how random, you're gonna be in so much suspense, you're gonna be what's gonna happen in the Amazing World of Gumball movie? Anything can happen. Just like he was saying, how you can go from a particular episode and go to a cross-dresser episode, and then very next episode, anything can happen inside the Amazing World of Gumball. So making a movie about it will get everybody hyped to watch. Because anything can happen. You could be in one scene riding a skateboard. The next thing you know, that skateboard takes you into another universe, finding a giant dinosaur, T-Rex. There's so much stuff that can happen, and it just shocks me to figure this out, that they think about rebooting the show. I'm gonna have to watch season 7.
And 6 was just getting started, and I had to move on pretty quickly to whatever the next batch of episodes were on when it was done. So while I wasn't paying super close attention to Gumball at that point, every now and then I'd catch an episode or some clips online that I knew that I had never seen before. And I never heard people online lamenting the end of Gumball in the way they did Adventure Time or Steven Universe or something like that. Plus that movie they kept teasing still hadn't come out yet, so I sort of just coasted through life assuming that Gumball had just been going this whole time and new stuff was on the horizon, but apparently it wrapped up back in 2019. But then, why does the Wikipedia article for Gumball episodes have these 2 extra seasons listed between 2019 and 2021? What are those? Well, get this. What I had just sort of blindly assumed were new seasons of Gumball were actually 2 separate miniseries of clip shows. Yeah, whole entire seasons of clip episodes. I can't believe I fell for this. So, for context here, the season 6 finale of Gumball ends with a recurring villain character named Rob showing up and trying to warn everybody about some big cataclysmic event. But he fails to get anyone to listen to him, leading to the ground splitting in half, a gigantic static void opening up, and Rob falling inside before the episode ends. Which means Gumball actually ended on a cliffhanger that, as far as I know, has never been resolved. My theory is that whatever this was setting up was probably going to become the plot of the movie, or it's just some kind of meta joke about the show ending. I don't know, like the world of Gumball literally like coming to an end. But while we still haven't got.
I kid you not, if they don't push more about the scene, and this gonna surprise both sides, this what made me mad. That's what made me mad. That there was nothing more of it. That was just the ending. That was just the loss. I was scared. I didn't know what to think of it. There gotta be more. I gotta figure out what they was talking about. It's like they got a key bond storyline to it, but it's so much. It's like trying to follow. It's like take a Rubik's Cube for instance. People who are good at Rubik's Cubes, they're so good that that become common sense to them and easy to it. And trying new Rubik's Cubes out just gonna make it more fun and easier. Why? I just saying, but take a person who's not into it. They're gonna be who just first found out what Rubik's Cube is, a noob. They're gonna be so confused and so wrapped up out of it, they wouldn't even know how to even move the pieces or anything. That's how the amazing world of Gumball is. It's like a bigger Rubik's Cube trying to find the rhythm and the color for. It's like trying to find the right answer to be able to get the storyline right on time every single time throughout the season and know where the storyline is connected and where it's not connected, where it's fun, chaos, and stuff like that. And if I do have to say, there's mostly non-Keystone episodes than Keystone episodes. And I got that saying from this YouTube video. I forgot the name of it. But it was a video talking about rabbits and stuff. I'm going to put the link down in the description referring to that video that I was talking about. And it's just crazy. Like, it's crazy how the baseball Gumball is like a big Rubik's Cube that everybody trying to figure out. And when you left in the cliffhanger, you should be like, I'm so close to figuring out, but it was taken away from me. Now, since I know that there's a season 7, I'm for surely 1000% going back to finish the Rubik's Cube.
Any resolution to that cliffhanger, almost immediately after the show ended, we got The Amazing World of Gumball, Darwin's Yearbook, a mini-series of 6 quote-unquote specials that just reuse clips from across the show's 6 seasons to fill up a 12-minute time slot under the framing device of Darwin trying to decide who all should be on the Elmore Junior High yearbook cover. Yeah, imagine waiting with bated breath to see where that season 6 cliffhanger was going, just to get 6 episodes of this. They're clip shows, nothing more. Now that's not to say there's
I was mad when they did that. I was still when they did that. I was so mad. I was young at the TV. My mama had to come back at me and was like, "Why the hell are you on the TV?" I started running back at my mama like she done did something like they done put the Amazing World Gumball on hold just for some little clips. She was like, "What are you doing about TV show for, honey?" I was like, "You wouldn't understand." Only a true fan would understand the pain I'll be going through with my favorite TV shows. No, I'm playing. But yeah, something like that. Something on the lines of that.
absolutely nothing new or original going on in these clip shows, every episode does spend a decent amount of time within the framing device, with Darwin messaging his friends and classmates online as a way of kind of teeing up all the clips, Family Guy cutaway style, you know? So you do get a ton of new dialogue from all the various characters, but very little, if any, new animation. Most of the time, if we're not seeing clips, we're just seeing Darwin's, like, Facebook wall and all these different text messages pop up. That's kind of it. And it gets, like, shockingly repetitive, having so little animation that isn't reused. I mean, I don't know, it's still pretty cute, but like, it's weird to do a whole mini-series of clip episodes, right? Like, that's not normal. At most, long-running shows used to do like one clip episode a season, but only after they reached like season 5 or 6. Plus, in the more modern world of like streaming and YouTube, clip shows are kind of relics of the past. We don't see them much anymore because they were mostly a thing to accommodate the restrictions of producing for cable TV. And why would us viewers care about a clip show on TV when fan-made compilations with names like Richard Watterson Moments I Tell My Therapist About are getting posted to YouTube every day? So I don't know, it's...
Nah, he's stupid. That way he did it, but that was so key. Like, Rachel Watson Moments I Tell My Therapist About. That's wild. Let me know if y'all want me to do a reaction video on that. Comment down below. I may have to go down to part 1 and do a reaction video just to give you guys a little bit of teaser. Then let me know down in that video if y'all want to see the part 2. But I am for sure going to do a reaction video to part 1. Let me know if y'all want part 2 of that.
It's weird to me that in 2019, as soon as Gumball was over, we get a mini-series of like 6 of them. And even weirder that the very next year, we got a season 2. Yeah, starting in 2020 and running till 2021, we got another mini-series of Gumball clip shows called the Gumball Chronicles. And this one's a little bit more... yeah, loosey-goosey. I mean, the first episode is called The Curse of Elmore, and it starts right in the middle of the Season 6 Halloween special where 2 characters are watching a cursed VHS tape. It then diverges from the original scene to set up a clip show of all the creepy stuff that happens in Elmore. But then, starting with episode 2, the vibe changes considerably, and we get 4 episodes all in a row that are just about Gumball wanting to run for class president and looking for a running mate. Did you miss seeing clip shows of a bunch of Facebook Messenger dialogue? Because I got great news for you! But then that mini arc wraps up pretty quick, and the Gumball Chronicles ends with 3 episodes that have... they all have like a family theme? One where Anais is making a Watterson family tree, one about Mother's Day, and one about Father's Day. And that's kinda it. It's a pretty scatterbrained series of episodes for something called the Gumball Chronicles. I mean, outside of the reused clips, Gumball's only in maybe like half of these things. It just feels so weird. Though, to give the Gumball Chronicles some credit, they actually do bring a lot of new original animated segments to the table along with the new dialogue. So these are much, much closer to being actual Gumball cartoons than, say, Darwin's Yearbook. But damn, dude, 2 seasons of clip shows, 14 episodes of almost nothing but recycled content released over the span of 3 years. I genuinely don't think I've ever seen something like that before. And you might be wondering, why even talk about these? They're clearly not that important. They're like supplementary content. And like, yeah, I guess. But counter-argument, the show treats them like normal episodes. They're divided into seasons. They start with the normal Gumball theme song. They have title cards. They last for 12 minutes each. That's nearly 3 hours total. For all intents and purposes, these are full-length episodes of Gumball, and the only major Gumball content released between late 2019 and mid-2021. So I don't know, maybe I'm dumb, but I don't think it's that weird for me to have just assumed the show was still going on when these were airing. But what about that Gumball movie? Yeah, back when I first covered this show, there was talk of a movie being in the works that just sort of had never materialized? What's going on with that? Well, the first time I remember hearing about it was from an offhand tweet made by the show's creator where he was literally just like, hey, Gumball movie? And that was pretty much it. But a press release from Warner Brothers a couple years later formally announced that The Amazing World of Gumball, the movie, was officially greenlit and coming soon. This was in late 2021, coincidentally only a couple months after the last episode of the Gumball Chronicles aired. The movie was said to focus on Gumball's biggest fan finding a lost episode of the show and accidentally opening a portal to Gumball's world. So it was looking to be some kind of big, multi-dimensional action-adventure story. Still not sure if it was meant to connect to that Season 6 cliffhanger, cliffhanger though, but portals, I can see the vision. And of course, as you may have noticed, it's been nearly 4 years and there ain't no movie. News of this project just sort of dried up on impact. But this past year, some vague updates did come out of the Annecy Film Festival. There was a big Gumball Q&A panel where this Twitter user, whose name I'm sorry, I don't know how to say it, they asked about updates on the movie. Ben Buckley reported that the movie isn't canceled and is being worked on, but it's also being actively revised. This tweet is the only source for that info I've been able to find so far. I was hoping I could find some video evidence of the panel, but I haven't yet, so I don't know, maybe take this with a grain of salt until more official reports come out, but as far as I know, the movie is still 100% happening. Whether or not the premise is the same, who the hell knows. But interestingly, that 2021 press release wasn't just about the movie. It also mentions an upcoming new animated series called The Amazing World of Gumball. The series. Great work on the name there, guy.
The Amazing World of Gumball, the series? What? I swear to God. Hear me out. I'm gonna cool. That shit just irritates me to the bone. They came out with the Amazing World of Gumball, the series. Hell no. This might as well just have made a show about Darwin. At that point, come on. I get that the sidekick characters don't be getting the proper respects and dues. Matter of fact, I take that back. Look at Patrick Star, for instance. Patrick Star got his own show. People, I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of shitty, and I get why some of these most over the popularized sidekick characters getting their own show be downgraded, and I see why sidekicks don't usually get their own show, but y'all can't sit here and not tell me that a Darwin show would not be a hit. It would be a hit. I know it would. But at the same time, I guarantee that's the people who said let's make a show about Patrick Star and thought it would be a good ass episode. But yeah, again, I knew the Patrick Star show was gonna suck as soon as they talk about making a episode about the most dumbest, revolting character of them all in TV show history. I really do not think there's nobody dumber than Patrick Star himself in cartoon history that was not deserving of a show. At that point, you should be there. In my case, if you were thinking about making a Patrick Star show, you should have rebooted. We should have made a show about Monster. Y'all probably don't even remember. Y'all probably don't remember the TV show Robot and Monster. That's how crazy that shit is to me. But anyway, if everybody's sidekick getting a sidekick show, if anyone well deserving of a sidekick show, it's Darwin, and I know y'all can agree with me with that. That's why this shit just so irks me to the nerve that they call it the Amazing World of Gumball, the series. Couldn't come up with nothing better. Couldn't finish off the series of the Amazing World of Gumball with the rest of the show. Then make a whole entire new show about Darwin. We elaborate more. Okay. Here's this for suggestion. Elaborate on how Darwin was. Elaborate on how the owner of the awesome store got I want to know the backstory on the owner of the awesome store and how he got Darwin in the first place. Elaborate on that. There's certain parts of the episode. There's certain key parts of the episodes that need more elaboration on how they got to that part, or how this, that, and those. There's just so many things that the show couldn't elaborate and the only newest idea they got from all the shows that they could have done around the Amazing World of Gumball was let's just make a part 2 of the Amazing World of Gumball and call it the Amazing World of Gumball, the series. Yeah, come on! Like, I know the Amazing World of Gumball fans will agree with me too that there's just so much more about this that they could have done, and I'm just mad. But this is my opinion.
Really helps establish the new direction. Basically, the press release described the movie as being the conclusion to the original Gumball series and also the genesis for this new one. No more info was given about this weird little reboot series, and by 2024, the idea of the new series had more or less been reworked into just a new season of the original show, which is what we're set to get soon. So, to put all that into a timeline, Gumball premieres on Cartoon Network in 2011 and runs for 6 seasons. In 2018, the show's creator tweets about wanting to make a Gumball movie. The following year, in 2019, Gumball's Season 6 ends, putting an end to the show's original run. However, only a few months later, Darwin's Yearbook premieres, beginning a multi-year stretch of clip show seasons that continues with the Gumball Chronicles in 2020. Those clip show miniseries end in 2021, when we then immediately get the official announcement of the Gumball movie and some mysterious new series that was then reworked into a continuation of the original show by 2024 and is now set to premiere as Gumball Season 7 sometime between 2025 and 2026. You know what this all reminds me of? Phineas and Ferb. That show also ran.
Facts! No, not since he said Phineas and Ferb. That really made me start thinking, yeah. That's really what they're doing with Phineas and Ferb.
For several majorly successful seasons before ending around 2015, but basically right after ending, we got more specials, crossovers, attempted spin-offs, and eventually a movie, all culminating in the show coming back for 2025. Gumball technically ended in 2019, yes, but turns out it was just too big for Cartoon Network to really let it go, just like Disney with Phineas and Ferb.
And just like Nickelodeon with SpongeBob SquarePants. Like I said, those key episodes, those key cartoons are so popularized that the network be doing too much with. And I'm not gonna say they be doing too much with most of these big ass networks. Sometimes the fact be that they be doing too less. Like the Amazing World, take SpongeBob SquarePants per se. It didn't take the Amazing World Gumball of Phineas and Ferb. With Phineas and Ferb and the Amazing World of Gumball. No, I'll put it to you like this. The Amazing World of Gumball, they done too less with. The Phineas and Ferb, they done too less with, but too much with. It's kind of hard to explain. Like, it's like the middle ground. Phineas and Ferb is like the middle common ground between the Amazing World of Gumball and then SpongeBob SquarePants. Now with SpongeBob SquarePants, they are doing too much. Like, too much. Like, that's like stacks on stacks on stacks on stacks of BS. I wonder why. I guarantee you if, the creator of SpongeBob, I forgot his name. I can't think of his name off the top of my dome. Comment down, P Second Jr. is a dummy for not thinking of SpongeBob's name. Anyway, I can't think. It's like a common household name. I'm trying to think. Who's the creator of SpongeBob? I can't think of it. Anyway, the creator of SpongeBob, he stopped after a while because he know after a while, SpongeBob. I feel like the SpongeBob creator backed down from after the show, and let Nickelodeon take it off his hands, because he know that what they was doing was gonna be too big for the bridges, and that once it's too big for the bridges, it's just gonna get stale, and it's just gonna run out. And that's what SpongeBob is doing now. That's why they're trying to grasp a hold on ideas like the Patrick Star Show, this, that, and the. SpongeBob is, I'll put it to you this way, SpongeBob is the definition of a show, of a cartoon show that's doing too much to try to stay irrelevant. And I know that everybody can agree with me on that. Now let's continue.
That's why I thought this show had just been going all these years. It's been in that weird limbo state of kinda over, but always on the verge of coming back. Weird. No wonder I was so confused. So with all that settled, what do we know about this upcoming 7th season? Well, unfortunately, not too much. Seems like they're kind of keeping things pretty under wraps for this. That same Twitter user from before reported that the first episode was going to be called The Burger, and is going to be an exploration of how impossible it is to eat healthy when all the various food companies are owned by the same one dude. Again, hard to find any other sources to back that up, so like I said, grain of salt, but I don't know, that sounds like a pretty classic piece of Gumball satire and political commentary to me, so if that's what we're getting, I'm down. The Wikipedia page for Gumball Season 7 also has a list of all the planned episodes and their titles, but I checked the source on that and I couldn't make heads or tails of it, so for all I know, Gumball Season 7 could be a live-action K-drama. I don't really want to make any definitive statements until more official stuff comes out, but that is as much as we know at the moment. And if you ask me, which you essentially did by clicking on this video, I'm all for more Gumball. I loved delving into this show and its history back in 2018. I respect the hell out of the amazing world of Gumball and the brilliant writing and animation that goes into it. There are a lot of shows that I love and miss, but that I don't actually think need to make a comeback. Like, Steven Universe doesn't need to keep going, neither does Gravity Falls. They did what they needed to do, and they did it amazingly. And not to mention, Cartoon Network is kinda entering a weird phase where most of their upcoming shows are all just sequels or spin-offs to things we've already seen, so I am a little worried about that. But of all these continuations and reboots, Gumball just feels different. Gumball is one of those shows that, to some extent, I legit think could just keep going and going. Of course, part of that is because the show doesn't really have any kind of big overarching plot, but when you're talking about a show where literally anything can happen from the first second, then you've got basically endless possibilities. I mean, we're talking
Facts. And that's another thing. With the amazing world of Gumball, it can constantly go on forever with new ideas and anything happening. But with SpongeBob, like I was saying, it got too big for his bridges, and now the content of SpongeBob just became stale, and no one just don't stay tuned for the new episodes. Only little kids that can't comprehend what they're watching stay tuned. Cartoon. Okay, let me put it this way: SpongeBob used to be for kid. Okay, yeah, SpongeBob is for kids, but like, okay, let me put it this way: SpongeBob was like Power Rangers. SpongeBob was like Power Rangers and stuff like that, and shows like that, and then turned into like then turned into like people who it turned out to people who you expect to be watching, Gabba Gabba or Sesame Street or something along them lines, Peppa Pig. It became a real kiddie show. Like, there's nothing wrong with kiddie shows. I still be watching Barney to this day. Like, I don't care what people say. Barney is a dinosaur who came from imaginations. Come on, Barney is a classic. I still watch Barney to this day. But certain shows that per se that I used to like as a little kid, am I gonna say it hits the same nostalgic levels? No. I grew out of them and I'm like, that shit not hate no more. But some kid shows that I used to watch as a little kid, toddler, like Barney the Dinosaur or Teen Movie Zoom or something like that, still be hitting sometimes. That's all I'm saying. Now let's continue.
about a show where a blue cat and a goldfish go to school with a robot, a dinosaur, a peanut moose. Anything can happen from the first second, then you've got basically endless possibilities. I mean, we're talking about a show where a blue cat and a goldfish go to school with a robot, a dinosaur, a peanut moose girl, a wad of clay, a potato, a balloon, a piece of toast, and an upside-down human face. There are clearly no rules here. So as long as the people making the show feel refreshed, rejuvenated, and passionate about what they're working on, then I don't see a reason why Gumball couldn't keep going. If the possibilities are endless, I want to see just how far they can go. So I'm really excited to see what happens in season 7, and hopefully that movie
Facts.
eventually. Wait. Oh man, I just realized. Gumball ended years ago and I never even noticed. Now it's coming back. No, man. I never got the chance to pretend it wasn't over. Ah, damn it.
Alright, if y'all knew, shout out to Foot of a Ferret for for the amazing video. And I wanted to put my commentary on stuff for the video. That's why I click on it. If you are new, like, comment, subscribe. And it's been about Peace Stacking Jr. back again with another video. And I'm gone. Peace.
領域展開無料空所